Good morning. My name is Leslie Williams, and today's date is February 23rd, 2012, and I have to make this video somewhat discreetly because I am literally hiking out right now in San Diego, California, and I had to find an emergency campsite because of what the San Diego police pulled 2 days ago. Alright, now right now is the morning of February 23rd, 2012, and the time is exactly 10:28 a.m. in the morning, and I'm going to show you by my cell phone. February 23rd, Thursday, 10:28. It's a little hard to see, but I want to prove what today's date is and what time it is in reference to, because of the simple fact that one of the safeguards that keeps me safe and also helps expose what's happening towards me is to be able to make these videos and to prove what today's date is and what today's time is. So then, once I make that, once I illustrate that proof, then I make statements about what might happen towards me after the time of today. Like right now, it's literally shit. Well, my watch even says that it's 10:30 right now. Okay, as you can see by my watch. 10:31 a.m. in the morning. A couple minutes have passed since I took a video of my cell phone that I just did. The reason why I do that is, say if I was to leave where I'm at right now, and before I leave, I make comments in my video camera or my tape recorder that something might happen along my routes, or something might happen right before I get on the bus, or something might happen before I get to the bus stop. I'll make those type of statements in my digital tape recorder and sometimes in my video camera. And then when I get to these places, like the bus, like when I get on the bus or at the bus stop and something does happen, then what's the likelihood of that occurring if I didn't have a reason why I stated it to begin with? My name is Leslie Williams. I'm a target of organized stalking, which is also called gangStalked, in San Diego, California. On the 15th of February, the 16th of February, and the 17th of February, I made predictions in my digital tape recorder. It's something that there was, in reference to, I made predictions about what might happen around me in my environment before either the perpetrators arrived on the scene on the 15th and 16th, and they did exactly what I predicted before they even arrived on the scene, once they arrived on the scene. Then on the 17th, before I got on a bus, the 928 bus route, the very bus route I was assaulted on October 10, 2011, I made a statement, let's see if anything happens on this bus. And within 55 seconds of me literally getting on the bus, an incident occurred, and I had to call the police, the San Diego police. And also on that date, just here on the 17th of February 2012, once they arrived on the scene, they would not also again take another request. I requested to make another report that I'm a target of gang stalking. They would not take a report. It's literally the 8th time that they have literally denied me being able to make a report about being a target of gang stalking. Excuse me for a second. So, 3 things happened 3 days in a row that I caught on digital audio file that were predicted before they happened. The 15th and the 16th. On the 15th, it happened on the Trolly after I left USD, the University of San Diego. The 16th at USD in the library. 2 separate incidences that were predicted before they happened. I uploaded them to the internet, to YouTube. On the 17th, before I got on a bus, I made a statement in my digital tape recorder, let's see if I'm harassed here on the bus. I get on the bus, and within a minute, I'm literally harassed for minding my own business. Okay, that was caught on digital audio file after it was predicted as well. That has been uploaded to YouTube as well. On the 18th, this is 4 days in a row, I went over to Hazard Center to go to Barnes & Noble's, and I stopped and asked the security guard about what the law is in reference to me handing out flyers or maybe posting flyers at the Hazard Center, Mission Valley 7 shopping strip, where the shopping malls and the movie theaters at. He told me it's not allowed. I said, okay, it's good to know the law, because I don't want to do anything that's going to break the law. So then I went to, on my way to Barnes & Noble's, which is where I always go. I either go to Mission Valley 7 movie theater when I'm over in that strip mall, or Barnes & Noble's. And it's usually to either see a movie and then go to the bus stop, or to go to Barnes & Noble's, look at a book. I bought books from there. I've ordered books from there. I ordered the book Closing the Gap, which I still have, which is about gang stalking, from that Barnes & Noble's. Well, I forgot what date it was. It might have been, oh crap, it was like the week before an incident happened at Barnes & Noble's, and I had to call the police while I was in Barnes & Noble. That was caught on digital audio file as well, and it was literally even predicted before I went in Barnes & Noble's. So I had to leave though to catch the bus, so I left and didn't wait for the police. So as a result of that, as a result of them literally staging incidents inside of Barnes & Noble's, I came to the conclusion that they were basically trying to create a scene there to try and ban me from there, because it's where I go to kill time before I go to the bus stop. That way, in case an incident happens in a business, there's witnesses. Because gang stalking crews, they don't like witnesses, okay, to their expeditions when they bring something about against a target. And since something did happen in Barnes & Noble that was predicted before I even entered Barnes & Noble's, when I was way over 75 feet away from even their entrance when I made the prediction in my digital audio file, that something might happen, that something could happen in Barnes & Noble's, and something did. And what happened was flat out caught on digital audio file, and it can be clearly understood that I had no responsibility in the incident whatsoever. An individual with tattoos, he was Mexican, flat out harassed me right to my face while I was minding my own business reading a book. Okay, so I called the police. I had to leave though because my bus was about to come, and I had already been through this over at Jack in the Box right down the road, and the police never arrived. So what I did was I left in order to be able to catch the bus, because there was only another bus route on that after that bus time to get home, and I was not about to wait for the police because I already knew they weren't going to come, because they hadn't come on previous occasions when I called them in time for me to still be able to catch my bus to get home at all. I'm talking about, well, anyway, so listen to this. So I made a prediction after that Barnes & Noble's incident that there was going to be a great likelihood that they were going to try and come up with a reason to ban me from going over in that strip mall, because of the simple fact that they were gang stalking me at Barnes & Noble's. I was literally even being gaslighted by Barnes & Noble's employees, and I got statements in previous digital audio files that literally state that fact. And so what I did, after being subjected to gang stalking gaslighting gestures by Barnes & Noble's employees, management, and people that came in to engage in gang stalking physical gestures, which are gaslighting tactics, I started making statements in my digital tape recorder that they're eventually going to look for a reason to ban me from Barnes & Noble's, because I believe that's why they tried to start an incident with the Mexican individual the week before. So I went to Mission Valley 7 one time since that incident just to go to the movies. And then I went into Barnes & Noble's briefly, and then left and went and caught the bus. Then on the 18th, when I went over there and I ran into I saw the security guard, so I walked up to him because he was on my way to Barnes & Noble's. I asked him what the law was in reference to handing out flyers or posting flyers, and he said it's absolutely forbidden. And I said, good, that's good to know, because I don't want to do anything that's going to break the law. So then I continued to walk towards Barnes & Noble's, went and sat down and had a cigarette like I always do when I get to Barnes & Noble's, and the same security guard came and stood about 5 feet away from me and started talking in his radio dispatch that was attached to his shoulder. Yes, she's here right now and she's trespassing. Okay, which led me to believe, he goes, I'm looking at it right now, which led me to believe, because he was looking directly at me, okay? And so what I did was I got on the phone and called 911, because understand this, go to Google and type in gang stalking and security guards and look at how many responses you'll get in reference to gang stalking. I've literally been gaslighted by Food for Less security staff, yes, who engaged in gang stalking, gaslighting behaviors towards me when I was there at that location. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm trying to help you understand is that a week before this incident happened at Hazard Center, I predicted it, that they were going to do it. I predicted who they were going to use, how they were going to do it, and what they were going to bring about. I had to call the San Diego police on the security guard 4 times and waited over 2 hours for them to arrive, and they never did. They only arrived after I left and stood at the bus stop over a block away, and then they went by me, and I think that was done to get me to flag them down, which I did. They then approached me, and I told them what happened, and they told me that security guards have a right to ban anybody for any reason, and that if I want to, I can file a civil lawsuit. It's nothing but total bullshit. Anyways, what's the likelihood of somebody predicting a week before that let's see what happens the next time I go over to Barnes & Noble's, and then it happens? Understand this and be clear. If you go to www.gangstalkedworld.com, you can clearly see on their webpage and on their techniques page that a target is gang stalked and monitored and surveilled and harassed everywhere they go. Literally, the community at large is notified. And they're not just notified, they're literally notified in reference to how to harass a target when a target will arrive at a place the target's going to, like Barnes & Noble's, Jack in the Box, movie theaters, restaurants, grocery stores. Because the people who are hosting, managing, and directing this are literally in the system. I'm talking about members of the mayor's office, DA's office, San Diego police officers. It's organized stalking that is directly connected to organized crime. Now, they don't mention that on www.gangstalkedworld.com, but www.gangstalkedworld.com does give you enough enough of a preliminary introduction for you to realize that a target is stalked and surveilled, monitored, and harassed everywhere they go. Then go to their techniques page, and you can clearly see all their techniques, which, not all of them, but enough of them, to where you can see they redirect phone calls, and they intercept mail, including email and physical mail from the post office. They engage in cyber surveillance, intercepting and rerouting phone calls that you make, either by landline phones or by your cell phone. And this is literally the tactics they engage in, because the whole goal is to keep a target isolated so they can continue the gang stalking expedition, on a daily basis, to where the target gets no help. Like, if I send an email to a place to get help, they intercept it, or they'll intercept the reply. Yeah. So I never get no help, I never get no response into me contacting any particular place for help. That in turn keeps me isolated from help, while the expedition of the gang stalking continues towards me, using police officers, members of the district attorney's office, their organized syndicated members that are attached to the social services office, county mental health, doctors and hospitals. It's gang stalking. If you go to Google and type in gang stalking hospitals, gang stalking social services, gang stalking county mental health, gang stalking the psychiatric appraisal, gang stalking and mental health, gang stalking and corrupt mental health, gang stalking and police officers, gang stalking and firefighters, gang stalking and doctors, gang stalking in hospitals. The list just goes on and on, because it's organized crime that is literally infested within the system and within the community. Because what they do, they're white and blue collar workers, and what they do is use their employment descriptions to go after targets. And their employment descriptions are used in multiple ways. Go to YouTube and type in gang stalking bullying on steroids, gang stalking, and in a separate search type in gang stalking in San Diego. Sylvia Almarillas is another target here in San Diego. She mentions about Elsa being how her mail's been intercepted. That's how they created the homelessness for me. They intercepted my mail, that was my rent, that was mailed, certified mail return receipt. My name is Leslie Williams. I literally predicted on the 22nd that there was going to be a great likelihood the San Diego police were going to approach me and evict me from my campsite, because I was making statements in my video recorder and in my digital recorder that the next day, which would have been, no, that was on the 21st, and that I was going to be going to the FBI and reporting to them that I'm a human trafficking target and that the San Diego police are involved, and that if anybody approaches me at my campsite to evict me from it, it'll be because I'm preparing to go to the FBI the very next day. And so I made a literal statement that if anybody approaches me today at my campsite to evict me, especially the San Diego police, it will be to keep me distracted and having to move from this campsite to another one, so I won't be able to go to the FBI. Because if I would have went to the FBI, then they would have came and evicted me from my campsite. It would have looked like retaliation. So about an hour and a half after I made that video, they literally arrived on the scene and evicted me from my campsite. Where was my campsite? Right next door to the FBI in San Diego, California. I gotta stop this video. I'm gonna look at the YouTube videos that's in the comments feature of this one for continuation in reference to what I just described on this video file. Today's date is February 23rd, 2012. My name is Leslie Williams.